This is the World Championship for Professional Drone Racing. We are the DCL, and this is the midpoint of our Falcon Cup, our first part of our championship season for 2025. Last time we saw Phoenix Racing and Quad Force 1 both get eliminated. That means we have 4 teams left. They are going to be going to the Falcon Cup Finals in Abu Dhabi, but who is going to go there in pole position? Well, I'm Matt Andrews, and let's find out what teams are going to be coming at us fast and loud today. It's 2 semi-finals. The first one features this team from Japan. They are Raiden Racing, and they are in one of the most legendary matchups we have in the DCL. Their longtime and very close rivals, Spain's SDT, are up against them, and the winner of this goes straight to our qualification final for that pole position. On the other side though, the other semi-final, well, this one is a little more dangerous. It features the reigning DCL World Champions, Cyclone Racing, and they're up against the absolutely fearless and very fast DCL Wildcard team. Now, both of these teams have so far had a loss this season, so the loser of this will be eliminated from this run. They'll go to Abu Dhabi in 4th place, but the winner, they get to battle on to try and get that #1 spot. Now here's a new track for the Falcon Cup. It's around the beautiful location of Alula. We're in the middle of a corkscrew at the moment before we come out of that. To the top on a split S out, then a left 180, a corkscrew over the top, but just the one this time, before we then disappear from here towards Elephant Rock, this legendary location where we finished our World Championship of 2023. We're dropping down here through another split S, block trade, and then this cage. A left and right through the bottom, straight through the middle. It's very twisty, isn't it? There's a 360-degree turn into a split S to get out. Then there's a slalom, 3 Foxeer gates here and a split S over the top. Tricky, and 3 laps of it. That's going to sort out the teams. Let's get Raiden against SDT underway. Vicen Mayan and IQ0 against Red Sheep and Silvio. Here we go then, the first race of our semi-finals in the Falcon Cup qualifiers. And we're on board with Red Sheep, this incredible, fearless, was 8 years old, but as of 2 days ago, he's turned 9. So happy birthday, Red Sheep, for your 9th birthday. But now he is attacking this group, and don't let his young age fool you. He is more than capable as a competitor. 1 lap flown. It's IQ0 in the lead. Silvio, Vicen Mayan and Red Sheep. And everybody pretty tight. IQ0 nicely done in the corkscrew. Vicen battling with Silvio, 2nd and 3rd. Let's take a look at the captain of SDT's view as he goes up towards Elephant Rock, drops down, slips between the two, and in doing so, Vicen Mayan is slipping around him as well. Red Sheep is going a little bit off the pace now. He's had a problem, and he's going to be a little bit too far behind. It's 3 pilots then, all very close. Look at this, less than 0.2 of a second. On to the 3rd and final lap. There's Vicen doing a corkscrew, and we know he's incredibly tight at those, but Silvio unbelievably passed him on the single corkscrew. Oh, now they're side by side. There was so little room to get through there, and there's not much to give here at all. Look at this, it's 0.02 of a second. Don't make that a few thousandths of a second. There's absolutely nothing to split. 3 Foxeer gates, then the split S at the Orca gate, and the turn to the finish, and it is Vicen Mayan by 0.04, and IQ0 might just hold on from Red Sheep, but oh my, what a race to the end that was for them as well. Just under 0.2 between 3rd and 4th, and only 0.04 between 1st and 2nd. Vicen Mayan, another win for him in 2025. But a turn earlier, and it could have been Silvio's, and a turn later, well, that's anybody's guess. What a tight race for everyone. Great flying, and that's just the first time around this track in Alula. Look at that finish. So, 6 points to 4 in favour of Raiden after they came 1st and 3rd. Now Shane and Yuki are going to race against Sally1 and Ion. Good start by everybody. Wow! Not even 0.05 of a second between all 4 of them at the first gate. What amazing reaction times, and very similar ones at that. We're on board with Shane climbing up around Elephant Rock. Yuki, his teammate, in 2nd. Then Ion and Sally1, who are already slipping a bit behind. And Sally1's a former world champion at the DCL. He needs to get back on the pace. Ion, new to the team after joining them from the China Dragons this year. Ahead of them, this is Yuki, who's in 2nd. and both he and Shane are corkscrewing wonderfully, and there doesn't seem to be anything Ion or Sally1 can do around this track to get anywhere near them, and we're only a little way into lap number 2. They are out and clean and flying, and where is SDT? What are the Spain drone team doing with this track? They can't get anywhere near Raiden in this one. Such a good battle just now in which their pilots came 2nd and 4th, but look, there's Ion. And he's almost 5 seconds behind the pair from Raiden, and they're not giving him any chance of catching up because there's barely any room to spare as they corkscrew. Now we're on board with Yuki behind his teammate Shane. All that looks like he may have just had to correct after doing the dive, but I mean, it's a shadow of a whisper of a possibility of a mistake. There's nothing wrong here. This is as good a run as you'll see around this track, I think. Both of them are quicker than Vicen, Mayan and Silvio were just now. Then Sally1 just overtook Ion at the finish. Zion actually hit the side of the finish gate, got the lucky bounce, went in as opposed to off and out. But Shane, so far ahead of the team in green. And it was such a close start as well. Like I said, all the reactions were just brilliant, but Shane and Yuki, wow, SDT will be wondering what happened. They're going to have to deal with it very quickly. It's the big heat. All 8 pilots are coming in the air now. It's 13 points to 7. Raiden have a huge lead over SDT, but there are 10 points available in this. And look at that. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant corkscrewing. And here's a chance of a hope for SDT as Vicen Mayan is at the back. But he moves up past 3 of the pilots from SDT as they are so tightly together. So Shane out in front. Sally1. Now this is much better from him. We're on board. He was so far off the pace just now. Perhaps one early mistake cost him. Can he get back in contest with Shane here? He's got Yuki behind him. Shane's got almost a half a second of clearance. Vicen Mayan hovering around the top 4. Silvio getting into there now. Sally1 still the fastest of the pilots in this run for SDT. That was a good drop. That was dangerous and tight and confident to pull it off. Silvio, just a couple of tenths behind his teammate Sally1. Vicen Mayan just maybe scrapping past Silvio. Yeah, they're switching back and forth in 3rd and 4th. Here's Sally1 into the corkscrews. That's so good. And Shade is nevertheless staying 1.1 seconds ahead, and it's going to be more. Sally1 hits part of that turn. That's his chase ruined. Vicen Mayan has gone past him for Raiden. And this is looking like a 1-2. And Sally1 hits the bottom of the cages as well. His rhythm has gone. Yuki has passed him. That's 3 Raiden pilots in the top 4. There's Shane. Mayan does stay ahead of Silvio. Yuki is in now as well. Here's Ion in 5th for SDT. And then Red Sheep stays ahead of IQ0. And Sally1, who was contesting the win, is coming in a long way behind in last. So more and more points for Raiden there. Silvio, the only one of STT to get into that top 4. Shane now has 5 wins in 6 races and a 2nd place in the other one. What an incredible set of races those are. And he was unstoppable here too, and this is a danger for the other teams as this track in Alula is where the rest of the qualifications for the Falcon Cup Finals are going to be flown. So after such a close battle in the first race, it fell apart completely for SDT. They lost that big heat 8-2. They lost the entire matchup 21-9. What we have here, congratulations Raiden, the first spot in the qualification final and the possibility of pole position. That is Raiden's. Now let's turn our attention to our other semi-final between Cyclone and the DCL Wildcard team. J-Box and Yayu, first ones to race. The Bob and Gilbert for the Wildcards up against them. Another decent start by everybody. Gilbert here in 2nd, the Bob with him. And Yayu ahead of them, and J-Box, an early mistake from him means he is suddenly a long way behind in comparative terms. This is a short lap on a short track. As we saw just now, one mistake and you could be some way behind for the whole race, although J-Box is no slouch at catching back up again. Yayu leads on to lap number 2 with Gilbert 1/10 behind him and the Bob 1 or 2 behind his teammate Gilbert. And Gilbert and the Bob have been in the 2nd and 3rd place for the wildcard team in a number of races so far this cup and have surprised a few pilots from those positions. Gilbert is particularly good at dives like that. So There is a possibility of them surprising Yayu, but Yayu is a really difficult pilot to catch. He's so clean when he's got a track dialed in, and he's on to his third lap into the corkscrew. I've got to say, Gilbert and the Bob are corkscrewing well too. They've not flown so many of those on DCL tracks as Yayu has. The Bob is here on his debut season and is doing a brilliant job of keeping up in this. He's right behind Gilbert, and there's just another tenth and a little more now between Yayu and the pair of the wildcard team, so I don't think they'll catch him. So here's Yayu to the finish. Another win for him. That's his third.
Hey!
Push, push, push. Well done, boys. You got a draw.
I don't think my heart rate got above like 70.
I'm enjoying these little comments from Gilbert at the end of races. We've had a few good ones so far in the Falcon Cup. 1 second behind Yayu. Not panicking at any time and not feeling particularly stressed, or sounds like he's even competing that hard. Is this the wildcard team's plan? Are they just going to try and cancel out Cyclone? If you come in second and third and the other team come in first and fourth, you both get 5 points. That's what's happened here. We'll have to outscore them at some point though. Let's see what happens when Valprim and Zion take on Astronaut and Danube. Now this could be quite different, as Valprim is so clean as a pilot, and he's moved to the Cyclone Racing team after having flown with Raiden Racing for the last couple of seasons, and what an important pilot he was for them. And look, he's in the front here. Danube, since leaving SDT, seems to be having a pretty good season with his new friends on the wildcard team, and here's the one in between Valprim and Zion, although Zion has just managed to get past him for the moment, but Danube will take him on that turn. Astronaut, sadly not as experienced as the other pilots on these two teams, and is already a long way behind. We're on board with Danube coming out of the corkscrews, little correction. As he's getting close to the back of Zion again, they are both already a second behind Valprim, who is just going to thread through the cube with no problems whatsoever. How tight was that? Zion can barely see his teammate. There he is, going through the split S and coming out, and yep, still over a second ahead of Zion and getting away even further than that. He's so tight. The corkscrews are done. The 180s in and out are like they weren't even there. Here's Valprim around this wonderful look at Elephant Rock. This huge natural formation in Saudi Arabia, where we had the delight of going for our World Championship final in 2023. But I don't think Valprim is in the mood for sightseeing, as this race is already won by him, and then Danube will keep seconds just ahead of Zion.
Nice try though.
We want him in now. You did pull in some time there. That was awesome.
Yep, I think we got this, guys. Let's do it.
Good job, Danube.
Yeah, we're only 1 point down, boys. We got 2-3-4, we got it.
Valprim. 3 wins now in 3 races for him, the only one with a perfect record. Danube and Zion were 2.5 seconds behind him and very close to each other. Let's take a look at some corkscrewing. You've really got to concentrate as you go around there, particularly when there's another pilot who are almost just feels like you could reach out and grab them. Valprim into the finish. Can he get another win? Will he make it 4 out of 4? Well, he's in the big heat with all of his teammates against all of the wildcard team, and they are 2 points down. So they definitely can cause a huge upset here and win this and put the wildcard team ahead of the reigning world champions in the standings and the seedings for our Falcon Cup Finals. It could be done, but it's going to need more than Danube in the top 4. And at the moment, he's the only one in there, and still, as now, Cyclone are all around him as well as in front of him. So on board with Danube, and that's 2 purple drones now in front. Yayu joins Valprim and Zion, and Valprim is bouncing around the inside of that. I don't know how he kept that flying. I think he hit one of the uprights on kind of all sides of it as he went past it. Danube with a chance to catch him. Got to take some braver turns than that though, and here it comes. Can Danube get past Valprim and lead his team? He'll need more than the 4 points he's going to get for the win, but Gilbert and the Bob, they're starting to hover, not too far off the back of J-Box, but very little time to do anything about it. And Danube is in close company again with Valprim and Yayu, and they're all a little bit cleaner here. Yayu just slipping a little bit off the pace, just a couple of wild turns. Danube, 1/10. Going on for 2, now into the cages, make this really good, and there's a chance. And so is Valprim, and now no, Danube hits a pylon, but he's still really tight to him. Oh, he might have taken him if he hadn't had that bump. There's a really good split S, but Valprim's got another win.
Oh, unlucky.
Guys, really
well,
nice
good points.
We show we can fly them at least.
Oh, 1 point away from a draw there.
All right. Well, nice job, guys.
Hell yeah. Good job, guys.
Go, boys. Go.
Good job.
Now we just got to see who loses between Raiden and SDT and take them
So
out.
the wildcard team feeling like that was nearly theirs. Look at the Bob, he was only half a second out of getting another point in that top 4. Valprim won it though. But watch this replay in the bottom left. Don't blink, there's a lot of sparks. That's Valprim rubbing up against the corkscrew. If he hadn't managed to keep that flying, then Danube would have won that race. And maybe there would have been some changes in other points and places. We'll never know, but it wasn't as comfortable a win as a wildcard team against the reigning world champions should have been. So Valprim now with 4 wins in 4 races, leading Cyclone to a 18-212 win over the wildcard team. But I think the wildcard team and the other teams still in this will be looking at that and thinking, okay, maybe that was a bit closer than the world champions would have expected. So SDT need to come back from that big loss, and we'll see them next time as they take part in the last chance to make it to our qualification final. Awaiting them there, it's Cyclone Racing, our world champions who nearly suffered a loss themselves. Join me, Matt Andrews, and all of us here at the DCL for the next race in the build-up to our Falcon Cup Finals. And of course, look out as we'll see you in the skies!